Rise, rise. I see y'all. Just jumped on there. Okay. Pause. What's up, Rochelle? Peace to all of you guys. Peace. It's like almost 100 people on here, and I'm getting one comment. That means y'all got y'all jumped on the live as soon as I look at it. There we go. What's up, James? Y'all just gonna take a ride with us, man. Y'all know, y'all see here my young son-in-law here. It's Jay. It's my beautiful baby back there. My beautiful daughter, and of course the lovely Lacey, the bow.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, so we're just riding on the road. Figure we'll talk a little bit. How you guys doing this rise? How you guys doing this rise? What's up, Siggy? Good to see you, brother. What's up with y'all? Are y'all dreaming? Let me know if y'all dream, if you ever dream. If you never dream, say I never dream. I dream often, right? I dream rarely, right? Let me know if you dream. Lacey and I was having this conversation this morning about dreaming and how amazing the mind is, right? It started from discussing dimethyltryptamine, which is crazy, and then we just got into dreaming. So while you guys are typing in if you dream or not, dimethyltryptamine, also known as DMT, is the fluid in our brains that helps us to dream, they say, right? We produce most of it when we, large amounts of it when we die. People believe that we're blasting off to different universes or to reincarnation. When this, I dream, okay, cool. Rarely, okay. Blasting off to different universes or reincarnation, heaven, hell, whatever you think, due to this this fluid called the nectar of God, right? DMT, dimethyltryptamine. So we were just on this topic and we started talking about dreams, right? And we started talking about how your dreams are seen in first person. And I know a lot of you guys may dream differently than others, but the way I dream sometimes is my mind I'll have people in my dreams who I know in my dream, but when I wake up, I'll be thinking in my mind, where are they, right? I didn't know that person at all. Like I'm talking about even to the point to where you feel like you love them, familiar with them, know them, hang out with them. You don't question it, right? You just have this person now that your brain has created for you, right? I want you to think about how powerful your mind is. Like, are you really dreaming or are you going somewhere, right? You have a daydream, right? Where you're stuck in a spot, you're just looking and your brain, your consciousness is somewhere totally different. Someone's in front of you like this, right? You can't even see them, right? You don't know what's been on TV the last 5 minutes, right? Sometimes you drive all the way home and don't even know how you make it there, right? And you say this out loud, man, I was somewhere else. You don't say I was daydreaming. What if you weren't daydreaming? What if you just told you were daydreaming, right? What if when you dream, you just told you're dreaming? What if you told you're still in your head? What if you're somewhere totally different? I mean, I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying, let's just to intrigue you, right? Just to challenge you to thought, inspire you, if you will. Your brain, if you are inside of your head, this means your brain is ridiculously powerful. All right? This means that your brain is like Grand Theft Auto, generating the city that you're in, the state, because sometimes you're not in a familiar place. Sometimes and if you are in a familiar place, the fact that your brain can regenerate the whole building for you, right? You can't even draw it like that if you tried. So if you try to pull it from your brain and put it on paper, even if you're an artist, a lot of times you're not going to remember the places that vividly, right? But yet you're able to do it with your mind. And not only that, your brain creates the scenes, right? Just like if you're on a movie, right? You're watching a movie, like just think about writing your own script, right? How hard would it be to write your own script, right? Write the responses of another person and have someone good enough to act them out to where it's even convincing, right? So you're telling me, like, if we're in our minds, right, when we dream, that means our consciousness is creating the world around us, is creating the people, the figures, the characters that surround us, giving you a name, it tells you how to feel about these people, and it also gives them the words that they respond back to you with, right? Even if it's a person that you're already conscious of, somehow your brain is able to mimic them and respond for them as if it's really happening, but it's just in your head. And you can also do this absolutely instantly. You could be sitting here thinking about one of your friends or whatever and be thinking in your mind, what if they did something bad? And your mind will actually start projecting the scene in your head. You can see it. You can see it happening. And then you be like, I wish a nigga would. Wow. Wow. Or you're somewhere else. Or you're when you produce this dimethyltryptamine in your brain and go to sleep, maybe you are going somewhere else, to a place that your brain did not create. And like your body now, your physical being now, you had no control over. Maybe you don't have any control over your dreams either, right? This is why most of the time you're in your dream, you're not conscious even that you're dreaming. You think that's you. You think that's what's happening right at this moment. It's only when you become aware that maybe you laid down last night. If it's a nightmare, for me, I have these dreams where I'm driving, sleeping. That's my worst fear. It's the worst feeling I have. I find myself screaming at myself like, no, wake up, smacking myself, trying to stay awake. I'll be like, don't let sleep beat you. I do, I'm serious, I'm not even joking. I'll be yelling at myself. And 2 minutes later, I'm still over here like, I got kids. It's a horrible feeling. But I'll have dreams like that where I'm swerving off the road. It's horrifying. But then I'll remember that I'm home. I'll remember, my brain will tell me bro, you went to sleep. And I can from that, I can wake up. I can come out of that, But until that happens, my brain doesn't rationalize that. But yet it created the vehicle I was in, the scenery around me moving. It felt real. I could feel my equilibrium. Everything was intact with what I was experiencing, right? It was a dream. Sometimes you wake up and still feel the feelings, the residue of that dream. You ever have your girl mad at you when she wake up because she dreamt your ass was cheating? You wake up like rise and shine, and she looking at you like, no, motherfucker. You done did something. You got to convince her somehow that was a dream, man. It's all in your head. Oh, it meant something. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it may have meant that you have those feelings, maybe, that you may have that insecurity. It may mean that, but, but don't wake up mad at me, right? We have dreams you're running from people, someone's after you, right? You wake up in sweats, these dreams feel real. And you're not creating these dreams yourself. You have nothing to do with them, right? So that's what we were talking about earlier today. Just dreaming and just dimethyltryptamine, right? How often do y'all dream again? I saw some of y'all saying rarely, often. Some of you guys agree that you have dreams where your brain creates people just like mine does. What about you, Jalen? You ever dream like that where you got people in your dream that you never knew, but in your dream you know them? Yeah. You do? Yeah. Because I talked to one dude one time and he was like, he's never had a dream to where he was conversing and being social with people that he never met before. I'm like, I get that all the time. Lacey gets it all the time. Janae, you get that? Oh, you ain't.
I have before, but not really.
Not recently, but you have before. Isn't that amazing that your brain can create a whole different character or being?
Everything stops right here, so it doesn't tell me right, left, or whatever.
Because you're there. Make it right here.
So I don't know where I'm going in.
Oh, you good?
I promise you, I was trying to figure out who it was one time.
Me too, bro. I wake up and be like, who was that person? Because you can feel the familiarity.
Yeah,
you love that person.
Right.
Man. And it'd be nuts. So it's your brain is that powerful that it created somebody for you. Who was playing that character for them? You did that? Come on, Jayla, come on. I know this messing with your head, but that's crazy, bro. The brain is powerful.
I have a specific story you want to talk about?
No, let's just go to the. Yeah. Too often. Okay, Angela. I like that, Aaron. If you remember your dream, it's not a dream, it's a message. And many people look at it like that. Dreams are just messages. They're you interpreting the frequencies around you. So.
What type of daggone trees are these?
But say your ancestors don't speak in words, right? They might speak in images, right? Things that you are familiar with. So it may show you a tricycle to show you that you need balance in an area, right? That you can't ride a bike all of a sudden. It may show you that you're out of balance, right? And so you can use these symbolisms, right, and interpret it that maybe you need to line some things up or whatever. It's really amazing. I enjoy that. I like to see everything as a message. If a squirrel runs by me, I look up immediately the interpretation or the symbolic meaning for what seeing a squirrel is, and I'll somehow apply that somehow to my life. You know what I mean? Just in retrospect, in thought. You know, I don't ignore the world. Like when I watch movies, I don't just watch the actors to see how good they are. I'm looking at the times on the clock, the colors that they're wearing, because I know that people, when they create art and create movies and things of that nature, all this stuff is important to them, right? You're looking at an actual staged scene, right? It's a stage, right? It's a staged scene. So the cameras, I mean, the pictures on the wall, all that stuff is strategically put there, right? To send a message to you as the viewer, you know? And that's just the facts. If y'all want to, y'all can go ahead. Just call me whenever, because we'll
Oh, yeah.
meet up with y'all in an hour.
Are y'all keeping mama?
Yeah, we got her.
All her stuff is in that diaper bag.
Okay, baby. Thank you guys for the stars. So let me see if I just hit next on.
I'm short, y'all. Don't judge me.
They better
It's
not.
easy
They better.
pushed
They
all
better.
the way
They
up.
better not. They better not. Don't you judge her. Don't you judge my baby.
When we were talking about, the mind and just the crazy things that it does subconsciously, I was thinking about energy. We talk a lot about energy and people who have a deeper connection and would call themselves like some form of an empath. I would definitely put myself in that category. I think it's amazing how you can lay eyes on someone, or even no eyes at all. I've had situations where I'm facing in one direction and somebody walks up behind me, and it's almost like I receive a message, turn around and look, turn around and look. And I can hear it, steer clear, be careful, And I'm like, why do I know that? I've never met this person. I've never had a conversation with this person. But everything in me is telling me this person is bad news. How is it possible that your mind can not only send you the message to where you almost hear someone talking to you and warning you, but the rest of your body knows to receive it as something legitimate and not a hallucination? Like, to think that your mind can literally play both sides, the person sending the message and the person receiving the message, is the most awesome and if not magical thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I think that that's pretty dope.
It really is magical. I'd like just from this thought here, we talked about dimethyltryptamine and how in dreams, right? And then we talked about how if you guys remember Class Act, right, when she was telling Hillary Banks, right, I forget the name of her character, but she's telling Blade that to die meant to have a sexual orgasm, right? To die means to have a sexual orgasm. And basically he has this question that asked to him at the end of the show where he's on his talk show, and he can hear her saying this in his mind, and then he gets the answer, right? Well, to die means to have a sexual orgasm, because when you have a sexual orgasm, your body produces dimethyltryptamine. So we often look at the physicality of sex and say that's what creates a child, but it's that dimethyltryptamine. What if that is what's pulling the soul right out of the cosmos, if you will, right? What if through that dimethyltryptamine, that nectar of God, right? So it's called, is what is like the gateway or the ejection seat or the receiver, right, to bring that soul to you, right? Now think about this. You'll see people oftentimes, and you might find them attractive, but you may not be turned on by them, like feel sexually aroused by them, right? And but then some people, they could be, we were talking, you could be in a room full of people who you find attractive. Let's just say they're all 9s, right? On a scale from 1 to 10, they're all 9s. They're fine, right? But you're gonna find this connection, this sexual attraction with few of them, not all of them, right? So it's not really based on what they look like. Now, will you sleep with them based on what they look like? Yeah, likely. A lot of men are looking for a certain body type, a certain look, right? A lot of women are too. And so we think that because someone has that certain body type or look, that we should be attracted to them. So therefore we do it, right? And so it becomes more of a shallow type thing. But then there are some people who you just feel something for, right? It's just it's I call it je ne sais quoi, right? Or you can't explain it, right? It's just something about them, right? Maybe your DNA is saying that soul wise, right? Or your DNA is saying DNA wise, right? Because it's survival of the fittest. The world is trying to grow and be stronger. This conversation, actually, we talked about how heavy it is on a lot of people when they so much. We're talking about black and light, dark skin and light skin, and we're talking about how heavily like this idea was to sleep with someone or be with someone light skinned, because the idea would be to create a lighter child because they might get treated better. And I was telling her, I have never saw the world that way, but I can understand how my ancestors did, considering what they went through, you know. So, but what's the most logical way to consider a spouse? It can't be for physicality, right? It should be that the world becomes a better place. So it's like you should be thinking about intellect, right? Spirituality, right? What type of mother will this person be? I said it alive a long time ago, just a few weeks ago. Good pussy don't raise children, right? A big dick does not make a man a great father, right? Or a great leader, right?
Exactly.
At all. And so if we make these things prevalent or priority, often more times than not, you miss the mark, right? So just think about when you're around that person and you feel this drawing to them, right? Maybe that's your brain creating a little bit of dimethyltryptamine, right? Because you can feel that dopamine at least, right? You get excited about this person for some reason. It is like magic. You can't control it. You can't say you're the person I'm going to have a crush on, right? Say you go to school, right? And you just say you're the person I'm going to have a crush on, and that genuinely be organic. It just happens, right?
Yeah, the energy is what it is. That's something that you can't influence in any way. You can, however, decide if you're going to listen to it, but you can't create a situation where you have that surge of energy and then you can't stop it if it's going to start, which I find, like, even I know a lot of women can relate to this because we are raised to be, happily ever after, find your guy, right? And you really don't think about it, but why is it a fact that one guy you can meet and you see a friendship, whereas another man you can meet, and from the time you lay eyes on him, you have already played all the way up until your wedding and having children, and your mind can actually allow you to see it manifest itself all the way through, and then you kind of get thrown back into your body, and then you're back just looking at this person, and you're just kind of like, I've seen the next 5 years with this man. Why didn't that happen with this other guy? And it makes you wonder what is connecting you. And I feel like it's a matter of choosing the right partner. As we were just discussing a moment ago, I discussed in one of my lives that I made the decision that because I felt like we chose partners for the wrong reasons, that I felt like it was beneficial to choose attributes in your partner that would contribute to the overall character and morality of the seed, as opposed to checking off boxes as to how he can be helpful in my life. I'm a grown woman, so I'm already halfway, let's say, through my life. But your seed is what needs the nurture, the patience, and so on and so forth. So I'm looking for this man to be intellectual. I'm looking for him to be able to uplift. I'm looking for him to be ambitious. But all of these attributes are not to elevate me. It's so when I decide I want to go ahead and create life, these are attributes that will be given to my seed. And I feel like when you go back into our ancestry, that's how it was decided who was an appropriate mate. It wasn't about what you wanted. It was about what this man brought to the table and what would create a good warrior, what would create a good king, attributes and characteristics. And I feel like as women, if we get back to that, who we would choose would look a lot different than what we choose now.
And often behave a lot differently. And that's just the aspects of that. Consider this, also going through slavery. Y'all seen Color Purple, right? And you see how what's his name, Danny Glover? His father's telling him, you need to get you a young woman in this house to help you clean up and help you cook, right? Because they would marry off women young, and they do this in other countries now, and they do this based on chores, like how can you take care of a house, right? And so we adopted this mindset, and it carries on. So now we look at women and we say, can you cook, right? Can you clean? Can you do that ridiculous, like I'm talking about, we say this makes you a woman, right? We break each other down to this degree, right? Like if a man can't go under a hood and replace your transmission, he's not a man. Like the idea of this type of thinking is going to keep you from finding someone who can truly make you happy, because those things can be learned, right? Cooking, cleaning, working on cars, anything that you guys require, repair work, anything like that, all that stuff can be learned. What you're looking for is someone who can raise a child. Like honestly, like that should be your first and foremost. Like absolutely,
100%.
Absolutely.
Everything else can be accumulated over time, but it's really hard to teach someone to not be selfish. It's really hard to teach someone to put other beings before themselves. It's really, really hard to communicate sacrifice and what warrants a person making a sacrifice, or being able to communicate how you feel honestly and not think about. A lot of people, even now in relationships, we tend to gauge what you think their response is going to be to decide what you're going to say. So you think about your truth and then you go, oh, this might start a fight, I'm not going to say that. Oh, he may blow this out of proportion, so I'm not going to say it like that. And then by the time it comes out, it's not genuine anymore. It's been something altered and watered down. So you're not speaking your truth, which means they don't respond to your truth. And you've officially started the miscommunication, and you don't even realize it, all because you chose what his responses were going to be, or he chose what her responses were going to be. And in all actuality, every minute, every second, every day, an individual is growing. So who you thought you knew them, I know you to respond this way, that may not be accurate as of today, even though you seen them act like that yesterday. They could have made a decision between yesterday and today that you don't know, or learned a lesson that altered their whole world, and you will take away their opportunity to show you that they've grown.
Absolutely right.
By holding them into this standard of what you remember. And you only understand growth what the growth is your own. For whatever reason, we think other people can't change, even though we're steadily changing. And we would argue that we change and we grow. But you, in the same breath, you hold people accountable for their yesterday.
As if people do not change. We hold each other accountable to last year. We hold people accountable to what we think about, who we think they should be, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, and if they're not who you think they should be, then you judge them. You put them in a box in your mind, and then they can never break out of that box, because your problem with them is that they are not who you want them to be, and you think that's finding something wrong with them, when really you're seeing yourself. Like, you're seeing inside of yourself is what I mean. Not you're seeing yourself, like you see in yourself. Like those thoughts you feel, those thoughts you hear, that feeling you feel, you're the only one feeling that, right? That other person isn't feeling that. That's you feeling that, right? So when it comes out to almost to a point to where you're hating on that person, you're really hating on yourself. Like you're actually putting the hate on yourself. You hating on you, because you're the only person that feels that hate. The other person does not know. Like, let's just say they walk into a room and you say, they look like they full of themselves, right? This person, he or she is arrogant and they need to be brought down a notch. Like, you're the only person that feels that negative energy, right? From within. Like, that's your taste, right? And so you're the only person experiencing that. It's almost like eating some food, right? And you say it's too spicy. It's too spicy, but someone else eats it and it's not too spicy for them. Maybe it isn't even spicy enough. So what are you tasting then? You're tasting yourself, right? You're not actually tasting the dish. You're tasting your own preferences, right? It's too spicy, but the food you're projecting is what you're doing. And so it's very important that we raise our awareness and realize whenever we see people and feel these type of feelings, we are likely projecting onto them what we're feeling internally. We're all fractions of each other. So if I look at you and I'm finding flaws, I'm finding me. I'm finding things about myself, because I'm making a comparison of myself to you. And this is why I feel I can judge you. I must think I'm better than you in that way somehow. This is why I'm hating on me. This is why I feel my own hate. Now I can't even be happy for you, because I've placed myself in a mental state of hell, and I can't even be happy for you. Raise your vibration, you know what I mean? And begin to understand that you can't judge people by their epidermis, right? And we know this. We always try to speak against racism. We all think that's unfair. And so we know we can't judge a person by how much pigment is in their skin, even if we we claim them as our race. So if you're light skinned, dark skinned, brown skinned, whatever, we know that character can't be associated to that. And then we go a little bit deeper to even facial features and muscle and sinew and bone structure. And we start calling each other ugly and saying you have a big nose and a little nose, right? Big lips, little lips, right? You got big eyes, you got little eyes. And we're supposed to hear this, right? And be offended. And it's like, based on what though, right? Based on who said I can't have a big nose or big lips or little lips? Like, why does why? Right? And so what you're doing is you're projecting, and all that stuff becomes internalized on yourself. So if I'm looking at a person and I'm looking, like, how you look at a picture, right? Of you and maybe 5 other people. Your attention is looking at you. You're going to make sure you're standing right, you're in the right position, right? You're making the right face, and you're going to judge that whole photo based on how you look, right? Now, watch this. When you look at a photo of someone else and you're making those same type of judgments, right? You think you're looking for flaws, but you're looking for you still. You're still looking for you, because the flaws that you're finding are actually versions of yourself as well. So you start to pick apart that photo, right? And so actually you judge that photo because you don't like how you look when you see that photo, because you're seeing yourself. Your taste, your energy for that photo bothers you. Like, we get people who look at our photos and one person will find it beautiful and one person will find a problem with it some way, somehow.
I was going to say, case in point, when you see someone in a situation, like, for example, us living the poly life, and they say, are you for this or are you anti this type of lifestyle? And the person's response is, I would never. And you're not looking at yourself in a poly relationship. You're speaking to someone else living their life, but instead you respond as if you're in the situation and you say, I would never. That by itself proves that when I look at something, I put myself in that position before I have an opinion about it. So whatever opinion you have is a reflection of yourself. I know they see you and they say, Kevin Wesley, he thinks he's all that because he got all them raps. Deep down, the translation of that is, if I looked like him, if I had raps like that, if I was in a position that he's in, I would be full of myself. So by that same standard, that's why I think that's who you are.
And then you begin to project. And the thing is crazy, because when you're doing this, you're wondering why the universe or God does not bless you, right? And it's not giving you the things in life that you desire. Here's why. You're literally disrespecting his creation or your ancestors, regardless of what paradigm you're in. If you are a believer in God, then you are disrespecting God's creation by telling someone they are ugly. Do you realize that shit? And if you say you love your ancestors, when you call someone ugly, you're criticizing their lineage, right? So, like, why would the ancestors bless you? Like, think about this. They're pissed off at you. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, those features that you're finding something wrong with, nothing about them is pretty or ugly. Every one of us are a collage of every person that ever came before us. And I feel like that is beautiful. No matter how the placement between your eyes, your nose, the ratio, who gives a shit about any of that? This is your ancestors being revealed through you. Who dares to call you ugly? And how dare you believe it, right? That is your grandfather's nose, right? You got a big nose. That is do you know how powerful your grandfather was? Right? If you were to be able to meet him, you'd be proud to have that nose, right? That nose is your grandfather sticking his chest out again, right? And so, like, here you are now insecure because you got a big nose? It's ridiculous, So that's why I say heighten your vibrations, because if you look at hell as a state of consciousness, right? Heaven as a state of consciousness. If you are lower vibrational like that, and you find a negativity with people like in that way, and you're insulting them in that way, then you have to think about why you're upset all the time. And the problem with it is, it's hard to come out of that rut because you begin to love that energy. A good example: take a person who's overweight, right? They may not like how they look in the mirror. They may not they may not like how they feel when they climb a flight of stairs, right? But they enjoy the food though, right? They enjoy what is feeding them, what is nurturing them at that moment. And it's the bad habits, right? So just think about this concept. When you're heavy set, they say you're overweight, but really you're underweight. You're low vibrational, right? So think about this. You're underweight. Think about it. Like, I'm not saying like the underweight or overweight as when you're looking at someone's body to see if they according to their body size, if that lines up with their poundage, right? I mean like literally you're under a weight, the weight of bad habits, right? The weight of enjoying things that are actually bad for you, because when you eating it eludes your mouth is aloof to what is good for your body, so it just throws you completely off, because this ice cream, this fatty food, this calorie filled food tastes delicious. I find myself at the refrigerator at all times in the night just standing there. Really, I'm not even hungry, I'm just bored, and I just want something to eat. So what I do, I feed that. And I know I said I was going to go on a diet, but I can't help but keep feeding into this same energy, and you're wondering why you can't come out of hell, why you can't get lighter. But you have to change your diet and stop feeding the negativity, right? And that's how you start finding that you're able to be happy for people again, because as you hate on people, that weight carries you lower vibrational, right, into a hell, right? And so now you can't even find, because being happy is a reward. You do understand that. That's truly the greatest reward from the universe, is that you just be happy. It's chaos all around us, y'all. Every time we step, we likely kill something, right? We crushing ants. We drive down the road, we killed insects on the way here, right? There's chaos everywhere. Happiness is a reward. And the reason a lot of us are not happy is because we are in a state of mental hell, and it's impossible to feel happiness for another person, period, because you can't be rewarded by the universe or God to even have the ability to feel happy, because all you've done lately is just produce hate. And so you got to change it, and it's hard. That's the thing about it.
Yeah,
it's like to stop eating foods that are bad for you and then just start eating foods that's good for you. Man, it's just hard. It don't have the same taste, right? It's like
less options.
Is it not crazy, right?
Less options.
Convenience, right? Because it's easy to dig into negative energy. Hell, it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And we said once, it's easy to tear down. It's very hard to build. To tear down, you just got to keep hitting it hard. To build up, you have to understand measurements. You have to understand how to build, right? Structure, right? It takes a lot. And so here you are now going having to go out of your way for your diet, right? To quench your hunger, when you used to just be able to go eat whatever you want. Like now you're reading the back of boxes, and that's just hard. And so it's the same way. If you're always giving out negative energy, right? Then to turn that around and just start giving off love, it's almost impossible. Like, it's very hard. You got to make it a point to do. I'm going to say something positive about every person I see. I'm just going to try to find something positive in everything and just begin to feed yourself positivity. And you'll find that your day starts to get lighter and you're not as miserable. And then all of a sudden you can genuinely be happy for people again. And when you're happy, you produce, right? You become more creative. The goal is to be in heaven. And so a lot of you guys are your own God, judge, and jury, because you're putting yourself in hell, but you think you're judging other people. But those three fingers are always pointing back. It's saying it's you, it's you, it's you. It's you. It's not them. You are projecting, right? Right. And that's why I always keep saying to you guys, rise and get out from under that weight. It's like a hot air balloon. They throw the weights off. You got to you cannot rise if you full of weight, right? You cannot rise. You're going to be weighed down, right? So get rid of the weight, and then that way you can actually go higher, right? To that higher state of consciousness. And someone says humble, like you can't, it's impossible if you don't humble yourself, because if you see yourself as already up, then hell, what need is there for you to rise? Like, you have to see yourself as, hey man, I am contributing negative energy to the world, and therefore I am contributing it to myself, because I am the conduit of the negative energy. It came out of me. See, if I create beautiful art, I was first beautiful, and then my projection was the art. You understand? Like, talented people make talented music, right? Like, if you're consistent with it, so you take a great artist, one who's consistent, like Michael Jackson or something like that, right? Okay, so right now the value is in his music, right? But come on, without Mike, would you have the music, man? Would you have the dances? Would you even have Usher, Mario? Like, would you have all of these other people who came from this man's being, man? He didn't just make albums. He made people. You understand? That's what inspiration does. It kind of bleeds over into the lives of others, and that's what positivity does. Well, that's what negativity does as well. You see what I'm saying? Because some people love the taste of negative energy. Some people love the taste of positive energy. They realize what it does for them. You're going to be inspired either way. Love and hate is a fuel that propels you. All right, so you got to ask yourself, which one is fueling me? Am I doing what I'm doing out of love or hate? Some of you treat people kindly, and it's not out of love. It's out of an agenda, which is really hate, because you're disregarding that person's soul in order to get what you want. You understand what I'm saying? And so
I was gonna say, they have these sayings where people like to say, I do this out of the kindness of my heart. And it's, whether you want to admit it or not, every gesture is for a reason. Whether it be, I did it because I needed to make money. I did it because I wanted to tell someone about it so they can think I'm a good person. I did it so I can feel good about myself. I did it so they would think I'm kind. You know, there's always an attachment to the things that you do, whether it's good or bad. So the thought that you're trying to convince yourself that I just did it because I'm kind, even at its minimum, even if you just wanted to display your kindness, it's still a reason for your action. And, you know, and that's why a lot of people are saying they expect things from people who give things to them, because those people are aware that there is no gesture without some sort of string, even if it's to show you appreciation. Some people do things for you just so, like, they'll give you a piece of clothing, some shoes or something like that, and then the minute they see you wear it, they will bust you out in front of everybody and say, I gave them those shoes, so they can feel like a good person and humiliate you in the process. There's always a reason attached, even if it's not monetary. So you have to ask yourself, what's the motivation? Ask yourself, why am I doing these things? Do I want attention? Am I angry? There's always an attachment. So you want to make sure your attachment is positive as opposed to negative.
And that's the amazing thing, is about realizing that your ultimate goal is to be fed. When you're pursuing anyone in life, there's an energy source. They become an energy source for you. So you begin to want time from them. You want to be fed. You want that. And so it's best to just announce your motives and your agenda and what you want from someone. Got it?
Yeah.
That's the baby. She was having a nap. Yeah. But I want to ask you guys a question. Think about this now. Some of you may be physically overweight, but some of you may be energy-wise overweight. And what I mean is underweight, right? Like you're in that hell place. All right. So if you are physically overweight, how many of you are physically overweight and literally still judge people and tell them how they should be living? Or how many of you are spiritually underweight, right, and still be judging other people, telling them how they should be living? Right? I want you to think about this. Until you change your diet, this means that if you are vibrating on negative energy, right, this means that every phone call, every accusation, every rumor that comes your way, you're going to eat up and believe it's true, right, and help even spread that rumor without facts. You'll begin to run to people spreading those rumors, and those people will realize you're spreading those rumors without facts, right? And you're realizing that you're killing your own name. The negative energy is you. So you're going to saying this, and this about that person. But remember those fingers, right? It's me. I have no facts. I'm just giving you hearsay and rumors, right? Because I'm in a negative place. Well, the same thing if you're overweight. If you don't change your diet and you just keep eating things that taste good, just because it tastes good, you don't validate it, you don't read the ingredients, you don't care, right? Then what's going to happen by result? Are you going to lose weight? Like, are you going to if you don't change your habits, right? You literally have to take responsibility for your life and say, I'm not judging another person until I ever, period though. Not even say until, I'm not judging another person. And here's why. Because there's always an aspect of me that needs to grow. There is always an aspect of me that needs to change, that needs to evolve and be better. Always. In all ways, right? My goal is to grow in every direction, right? In always, right? Isn't that crazy? We talked about this one time about how in the middle of nowhere, you are exactly right here, because now and here, right? Now and here together makes nowhere, right? So if you're in the middle of nowhere, you're in the middle of now and here. And aren't you always in the middle of now and here? If I ask you where you are without you saying your city name, your street name, and all the stuff they taught us to say, you'd have to say, I'm right here. Right? If I say, when are you? You'd have to say, I'm now. Right? Right? Always. Look at there. Oh, my baby. Oh my God, she is so beautiful. And the baby is cute too. I know she blush.
As them jeans.
But you have to change your input. You have your intake, right, in order to change your output, right? Change your intake in order to change your output, right? If you start intaking good foods, right? Because diet just means control what you put in, right? Control what you put in your body, right? That's what diet means, right? And that's what we all have to do. That we all have to eliminate certain things from our lives, spiritually, physically, so we can see that growth, that change that we'd like to see, right? If you are overweight, I know it's not a good feeling to step up a few steps and you can barely breathe, or not be able to be productive in life as you could. But if you were to lose that weight, you'd find yourself better, more confident to do more things. You'd be surprised what you're capable of. And this is the same way with your spirituality, right? With your mentality, right? Like, I gotta get it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You want
Man,
to switch?
yeah. See this baby. Look at there. Hey, beautiful. Well, hello. Hello.
You see how he watched me do all the work and then steal the sunshine?
Dang.
He ain't right. He ain't right, y'all. I said, y'all know them seats ain't no joke. I'm over here trying not to break my nail, pushing a little button. I'm like, these buttons is kind of hard to push now. Wait till I get her all the way out the car seat and then he go take her.
I was just overwhelmed.
I said, I almost broke my little nail trying to push it in there. Them seats ain't no joke.
I was just overwhelmed. That is all. That is all. Well, how are you,
Precious.
sunshine? Hello, my little sunshine. Hello. Whoa, there it went. Oh. She's smiling.
Hi, baby girl.
Oh,
Hi.
okay.
A little smile, just a little
It's
one.
beautiful.
All right, Paw, keep educating.
Sugar. It's hard to.
What were you talking about while I was getting the baby out the car seat?
I was just saying, just comparing, negative energy to your actual caloric intake, and how that what you take in your body has a direct result on your now, your next day, your mentality. Some of the foods you eat right then can bring your mood down. And a lot of you guys just be like, you think it's somebody who cut you off in traffic, but man, it's your diet, man. It could be the last video you watched on YouTube that can change the course of your day negatively or positively, right? This is why when I get on here, my goal is to never give you guys negative energy, right? My goal is that you walk away feeling empowered, feeling intrigued, right? Feeling challenged, inspired, right? Because I know that you're going to get negative energy. I know that, man, you're going to get negative energy from people who view my page, even though I don't put it out. So there's so many of us that's producing negative energy out in this world. So I feel like the goal should be that we try to be different. You try to be that person that's so different, that the world just, when they see you, that it just emanates, right? Nothing but positivity, right? We all can be better, man. And I feel like if we look at life in that way, you'd want to contribute to that betterment, Ain't that right? Don't you agree with that? Because you have to. She knows it now. Right now, she's in a place to where she has to eat milk, right? And I said eat it. Well, we would drink it, right? Because her digestive system uses that milk, right? The same way our body would use solid food. But as she gets older, milk won't satisfy her anymore, right? She'll have to go to solid food. right? Just like we do, right? We have to change our eating habits in order to grow, right? And because we are growing, right? Some of the things you used to be into, you find yourself not being into no more because you grew up, right? Now you need something else to stimulate your mind. And so find that thing.
Oh, baby, baby.
I got it. Come on, baby girl. Or is it cold? It cold right here?
And now it's time to eat.
That's
Time
exactly
to
what it
eat.
is.
Time to eat.
Uh-oh, no.
So cute watching him be pawpaw, ain't it?
Oh, no. We don't like that. We don't like when you sad. It make me sad. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, baby. So what? You gotta carry him for a while. Look, as you just got the camera.
I am, cause you who they want to see. They ain't come here
Girl,
to see
are
me.
you crazy? They want to see. They want to see them.
They
wanna
came
see
here
evolution.
to see you.
No. Okay, well, I'm gonna give it
My
back.
turn. Yes. My turn.
Since they are.
Wait, hold on. Okay, thank you. There you go. That's right. Sugar. Hey, baby girl.
Okay, family, we are back. Thank you guys for the stars. Hope everyone is amazing today. Right, mama's milk, right? Not cows, right? Look, y'all, look. I had put up a post the other day, and I said we were looking for a third, and I got so many inboxes within like a couple minutes, man, and like nobody was reacting to the post, so I guess it was like I'm gonna be discreet. But I took that post down because I'm not really. I was just, that was cap. Well, it was crazy because like I was just in one of those little moods, a playful mood. I was getting all kind of people like saying negative energy, right? But women would be saying negative things about my lifestyle or my queens. But in my inbox, they were trying to replace them, right? So I said, let me put this post up and say I'm looking for a third, right? You'd be surprised how many of those women who was talking junk show right back up like, I'll be a third. Oh, you mean right? What you mean like with my queens who you said was ugly, right? You're not gonna get along, I can tell.
Right, exactly. Wrong vibration.
Wrong vibration.
Wrong vibration.
Man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're looking for people who uplift.
We don't need that hating energy. We don't need none of that.
We're the rise family, not the lower family,
Yeah.
right? So look, think about this. We're talking about that connection that you feel with people earlier, right? And we called it that dopamine experience, or that dimethyltryptamine experience, right? When you feel these even sexual feelings or just a need to connect with a person, right? And if it's sexual, then maybe it's animalistic, maybe it's carnal, maybe it's flesh, where the earth or the universe is trying to create a stronger being from your DNA. Maybe it is spiritual, maybe it's intellectual, but it's magic. It's something you can't explain. You didn't ask to feel that feeling towards that individual. Now, and we call that, that feeling magic, right? Organic, if you will. Now, that feeling though, if you don't feel that feeling with a person, we often project onto them and be like, it's something wrong with me because you don't like me. What I do wrong? I'm not your type, whatever. Sometimes it's just that they don't feel that, right? And you have to think, family, when it comes to things of that nature, let's just say you're with someone who you have felt that with, right? And sometimes they may not be vibing on a frequency, right, that's conducive for love making in that way, right? So sometimes you might be like, why didn't you notice me just now? But maybe you're already in such a state of mind, being that you became invisible to that person's energy to feel turned on by you, because at that moment it may not be wise to bring into this universe a child, right? Even if it's just that moment, just some mental, you're just having a bad day, and so maybe like the universe is saying, not today. Maybe your energy isn't high enough, right? Or if we understand that like the transfer of even physical fluids, right, can heighten or lower your psyche, your intellect, right? Science has found that swapping fluids with each other, whether that be kissing or sexually, can actually raise the vibration of another, or the thought pattern, or lower it. And we call that spirits attracting, right? Like we say in church, like spirits attract. Don't just go around sleeping with anybody, but that's the DNAs, that's the souls, that's the ancestors, right? Those spirits attract. And so if you're sleeping with someone, a woman, you'll find that she starts to take on your mannerisms a lot. You start waking up sometimes with a bad day because she might be suffering from something, right? She might be having a bad day herself, or some guy in your life might have a lot of negativity and live a lifestyle that's filled with negativity, and now you're messed up, right, in your mind, right? Or you're having nightmares due to the swapping that you're doing with someone spiritually or physically, right? So maybe if right, so maybe if your body doesn't feel that arousal for that person, right, maybe at that moment it wouldn't be conducive to mix with them DNA wise or spiritual wise, because maybe they would bring you down because their vibration is low, right? So a lot of times it's like people walk around that's so insecure about themselves and they don't realize this. I'm telling you, I've been one, right? You find that your physical features don't change much, but if you wake up and you look in the mirror and you say, I'm having a bad day today, you feel like your face doesn't look the same for some reason. Now you walk around with this insecurity, or sometimes you're just insecure because maybe you were picked on, or you've made yourself insecure with the stuff you say to yourself and believe. And because your energy is low, no one feels attracted to you. And now you think that that's verification that you're unattractive, when really the energy just isn't. Nobody should be sleeping with you right now because you're so insecure, you'd bring them down, right? And it's like that's another state of being in hell. And you're like, damn, I think I look good, right? People tell me that I'm cute on Facebook or at pictures, but when they see me in person, I don't get the same thing. Your energy fucked up because you don't love yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, I promise you, man, look, when I was young, right, I used to hear people talk about guys would talk shit about Lil Wayne. Because women would like Lil Wayne, and guys would be like, he looked like a gremlin. I don't see what you see. Like, Lil Wayne is not insecure. He was confident. So whether you felt like he didn't look up to some standard that you held for men, which is ridiculous, right? He had that je ne sais quoi, that swag, right? And women just didn't care. Biggie, right? People used to say, why would a woman like Biggie? Biggie said he was black and ugly as ever. However, right, because Biggie had this je ne sais quoi, right? There's something about him, right? And we all have this thing that can be tapped into, but because we are living la vida loca, living your life crazy, right? You're ill mentally, right? And what I mean by that, when I say you're mentally ill, I don't mean to insult. I mean that your brain isn't working correctly. Like, if you're ill in your body isn't doing something correctly, and then you must make a correction, right, for your body to no longer be ill, right? Well, when you're mentally ill, it could be because you're jumping conclusions in your mind, and your way of thinking has you angry all the time because the way of you associating things, and it's not in the logical way. So now you're mentally ill, right? Like, if you're walking around with a rabbit's foot, right, and you believe this rabbit's foot is bringing you good luck, you might be mentally ill. Like, you believe chopping off the foot of another animal brings good luck to you somehow. It's a charm, right? And you've been charmed, which means you're under a spell, right? That's why you see the videos or the show called Charm. It really means to mesmerize, right? I charmed you. You think that's the charm when really you've been charmed, or the relationship you have between that rabbit's foot is that it charms you. It's not good luck at all. What happens is, because you have the rabbit foot, all good things now are attributed to that rabbit's foot, and that's why it brings you good luck. And when you carry the rabbit's foot, you're more confident. So it charmed you into creating more positive energy via thoughts. That was just your conduit. Some people do this with a cross. Some people do this with an ankh, right? A 5-pointed star, right? It's not the symbol itself that brings power. It's you that brings power to the symbol.
It's very similar to the placebo effect. When you have, when they do trials for new medicines, they usually create the medicine and then they do an evaluation of how well the medicine does a trial run with a selected group of people, and they usually compare that medicine to a placebo, which is basically just a sugar pill. And what it actually shows is when people take the placebo and they're verbally told this will make your ailments go away, mentally they start to see that these these feelings.
Munchkin, I think
Come on, baby.
Let me turn this down. Because it's a little nippy. We got this car cooling. We cooling in here. It's hot
But
outside.
those symptoms start to dissipate because, not because of the pill, but because the patient thought that what they were taking would alleviate the pain. So in reality, it does speak to the control that your brain has, that all you have to do is create a vision mentally, and you can manifest that in real time. That's how strong your mind is, that you can take a pill. And so honestly, you can play that same joke on yourself and say, I have a headache, I'm gonna take a drink of water, and this water is, you know what I mean, it's gonna make my headache go away. And if you believe it with every fiber of your being, guaranteed the headache will actually go away, because it's all in your head. Everything is all in your head.
Look, on our first encounter.
Oh my God, no, you're not gonna tell this story.
I gotta tell this story. Look, so we walking through this park, right?
Don't do this to me.
Don't. Don't do this. She hate when I copy her. I swear I'll be sounding just like her too. So we at this park, right? And we walking through this park, and it's like trees and stuff, and some of the trees got low-hanging branches, and she feels like she has these spider webs on her head. She felt some spider webs on her body. She's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Bugs, child. I lost my mind. I'm telling you, I lost my mind.
Yo, she was trying her best, right? She was brushing the dust off her shoulders, everything. She was trying her best to get rid of these bugs, right? Or these webs. And so I said, it's all in your head. It's all in your, oh my God. She thought she ducks down.
I'm thinking he telling me the bugs is in my hair, family. Y'all know how I feel about my hair. I lost my mind.
Yo,
and I'm looking at him like, how you gonna say it's in my hair? You not helping me get them out.
I said it's all in your head.
You not helping me get the spiders out my hair.
And the reason I couldn't help her was because it was all in her head. There was no spider webs. I was telling her, it's all in your. And look, I knew it was wordplay. My whole joke was, I like, it's all in your head. And she starts panicking. I said, no, it's all in your head.
Oh, my first dose of Kevin's wordplay. I wanted to beat him too. I want to beat him. You hear me? I lost my mind. I didn't want to talk to him for the rest of the walk in that park. You hear me? I'm like, listen, you have me over here thinking I had spiders in my hair. You over here playing with my head. I ain't got time.
Man, look, it's that encounter, that first encounter. Now she be on my wordplay. She tell me I got 2 a day when I'm messing with her. Right? She tell me I get 2 a day. So.
Y'all know when he start, he don't stop. I'm like, I can't be in the house with somebody picking on me all day.
My daughter came in the room earlier. She was looking for something, right? And Lacey said, is it up here? And I said, up here. Like, and she looked at me
and that
like,
was the thing, like, here you go. I don't have time.
I said, but it is always up here. She said, what you mean? I said, you ever been looking for something, right? And it's right in front of you, right? And you be like, if it was a snake, it would have bit me. Now, think about this. It appeared, right? It wasn't there before. Now it appeared because your consciousness was made aware of it, and so it appeared. All of a sudden,
so annoying, yo.
It always appears magically, right? Your consciousness becomes aware of it, and now it's appeared, right?
Y'all
it's appeared.
Be thinking it's brilliant for your little hour lives. We be listening to this all. He wake up like this. He do that all day.
And when I look at her face, I'm doing my beard, right? I'm shaping myself up, right? So I'm in the mirror shaping myself up, and I said it's actually up here, right? I look back at her face, and she's like this. And I said, I fucked you up, didn't I?
I don't have time, yo.
She said,
I don't have time. Don't be messing.
But you guys got to keep that in mind, man. It's appeared, right? It appears, right? So you say it appeared to me, right? Like you when you have that epiphany, right? You like, it appeared to me, right? It appeared.
I don't have time, yo. When I tell you, and he go his little rant like, listen, stop right now. Stop that right now.
But you can't tell me that's not deep, though. That's bars, yo.
He be making me so mad. You could be all type of serious, and he hear one word and take off like a rocket. I ain't got time. Not right now. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do this with you today. Mm-hmm. Kev, I don't want to do this with you today. Not today.
There's no choice.
It's too early. It's Monday. It's Thursday. Just stop it.
And the angrier she get, I tell her there's no choice in the matter. DDR.
Oh.
No choice in the matter.
On my nerves, y'all. I'm telling telling y'all.
And on that note, think about this. The madder you get, the less choices you have, right? So someone comes in front of you, right, and they're bringing you a bunch of negative energy, and say what they're saying ain't getting to you at first. So you have the strength to walk away, but the madder they get, the more you feel this reason to stand there and contend with this person. Now, the whole world is happening, right? Flies are buzzing by your head. Airplanes are flying across the sky. People are in those airplanes looking out the windows, can't see a damn person, right? People are traveling on trains, people are dying in places you never heard of. Like, people are becoming successful in places you never heard of. But at this moment, what matters to you is this person who has angered you, who has made you mad. And so that ability to walk away now is harder because you've gotten madder, right? So there's no choice in the matter, right? So don't allow people to bring you to that state to where you feel as though you have no choice but to react to them, because the whole world is happening. There's so much in this world for you. Okay, sweetie. It is so much in this world for us, family. You know what I'm saying? So we're out here, having our attention drawn or being distracted, right? A diss track is what a rapper makes on another, right, to get his attention, right? But really it's to bring them attention, right? They want you to respond, so you make them bigger, right? And so it's called a diss track, right? I'm distracting you, right? It's a diss track. And so you have to realize people are going to diss track you, right? They're going to say negative things about you to get you to respond, because somehow they want to be brought up, right? They want to be raised up off of you, right? Think about that. Guys, we're not always all together. Please understand. Right? Wouldn't that be weird if it was like we got to go everywhere together, right? Wouldn't that be weird? Sometimes we have different places to be. That's like me assuming you should be with your spouse or significant other all the time. Y'all sound weird.
All the way
like if
weird.
you're in a monogamous relationship, right? There's times when you're not together and you're aware of that, right? Don't mean you don't love your person or nothing, right? But if you're a poly relationship, then everybody got to be together all the time, or the one you with is the favorite and the one that is not there is not loved. It's ridiculous, yo. Like, what? Like, don't go nowhere without me, shit.
Right? Did you really just go to the store without your husband? Where they do that at?
Right. Like,
Stop
come on, y'all.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, that would be weird, right, Sherez? That would be weird. Very weird. Right?
Cheek to cheek.
That is beautiful.
Baby girl.
So guys, it's about rising, right? It's not about judging a person by their physicality, right? Men, learn this, man. When you walk up to a woman, and I know it's common for us to say, you're beautiful. And while that may be true, that doesn't make her worthy, right, of commitment, a relationship, motherhood, anything. So we have to look deeper than that.
I gotta give you the baby.
It's great to be beautiful,
give y'all
right?
the baby.
It's great to be attractive, right? But those things aren't attributes to raising a child. So you can say, hey, you're beautiful, I'd like to get to know you, but don't make that beauty the priority, right? Because many guys will see a girl and be like, man, I knock her up, right? Or I'll marry that. But you just talking about what she looked like. And then you start realizing that she doesn't have the ability to pour into you, right? To inspire you. And all of a sudden it's like, dang, look at me. I'm in this thing now where I'm not happy because I've committed now. And I did it all based off of the physical appearance of this person, right? So begin to look a little bit deeper. Ladies, I asked the same thing. I've never had my people ask what my penis size was so much in my damn life, right? Never, because you guys are now saying that it must be a certain size for me to have two women, but women, that means you're doing the same thing as these men do, right? And that must mean that it's not about gender, that we all do this. We all judge each other by our physicalities, right? Mm-hmm. So if we're doing that, we got to ask ourselves, is that wise? Because like we said earlier, good pussy don't raise great children,
sure
right?
not.
And big dicks don't become great fathers, right? It's about character. And so let's stop like examining each other for our physicality and deeming them worthy or not. Hey, Jamie, look, there go Jamie, sweetheart.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful. Welcome into the room. I hope you
on the way home. On the way home.
We're going to be right there soon, love. We wanted to take Oh, Jalen here, and my baby Janae. You know, she's still in there.
Yeah,
She's still in there. All right, we had to take them on to the mall. They wanted some time together, you know. So that's what we did. Yeah. Yeah. Miss. Okay, home now. Okay, cool. We will be seeing you soon. Absolutely. And I know you had an amazing day because that's all you ever have, right? Every day is amazing because it contributes to your life one way or the other. And because that day doesn't feel good at the moment, don't jump ahead of the curve and call it a bad day, right? You don't know what a bad day is often until years after that day, right? What seems like a bad day right now today could be the greatest day of your life 5 years from now, right? So don't jump ahead of the curve, you know? Anyway, guys, we have kept you long enough. Thank you guys so much for the 700 stars today. We are very grateful, right? And hopefully you were inspired in some way. Hopefully you got something out of the content today, out of this discussion, right? Moral of the story is rise, be better. Know that you are responsible for pulling yourself out of hell, right? And you do that with positive energy, right? Positive energy becomes the rope that pulls you up, or the ladder that pulls you up,
just
right?
ate, but she ain't burped yet. She might have a little air caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And pleasure meeting everybody. For those of you that did not follow me yet, it's a pleasure meeting you, and it's nice to be a part of this world. Hopefully we can do some magical things together. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of y'all, and hopefully you of me.
Absolutely. Follow Lacey LeBeau. Moment.
Why do you always do that?
Moment of clarity. I had a tongue twister. Don't be having tongue twisters.
Don't do me like that.
Be evolution. Be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it is in that chaos that you have found yourself. And be you.
And you are a walking experience. So if someone is going to experience you, make that experience great. Peace.
Nobody's coming to save you. Peace.